Well, looking back, if you jumped in this self love time machine, and yeah, and then now you see your 9-year-old self, right? And so, what would you say literally to your 9-year-old self if you can give your 9-year-old self one bit of information and then you had to go back to where you came from?
Um, it would, and it may sound pretty, I don't know, typical, but I would say stick with what you want. I was my mother. Well, my mother was a teacher. My father was an administrator with the CPS
Mm-hmm.
for. I think my father was 40 years. My mother was 36 because she took time off for, you know, raising two knucklehead kids. And I would tell myself to be more committed to what I guess to my first, most passionate dream. I was a late bloomer. And I mean, I look at some of the stuff now and I think I'm blooming, so to speak, 50 plus years old. But yeah, that's to me, that is super, super duper critical. Um, there are I truly believe that each one of us has a gift. And, if you can run a 40 in 4.2 seconds, you know, you, the society has a way of telling you, hey, you need to be playing football. Wide receiver, cornerback, that's your gift. If you can run a 40 in 4.2, they'll teach you how to catch a ball.
Oh, I see.
Ask,
I thought they
ask
were
Willie
saying
Go.
if you could drink a 40 and 4.2. See,
Well, see, that's why
yeah,
you didn't make it in the league.
That
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 explains.
Yeah,
that
that
is
explains
that
a
would
lot.
be a gift though. I
That
mean,
Right.
explains.
It
ain't
would be a
many
gift.
people, not many
Actually, it'd
people.
probably be a curse because you'd be like, what am I do with the rest of this? So,
but
yeah.
I'm sure you could parlay such a gift. For I know what you're saying. Like, people like I was passionate about soccer. I was told
Soccer.
But I was told there's no professional way to make money. By the time I turned 18, 19, there was a professional soccer league in the talks. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
Right.
what you're saying
Right.
about just pursue what you love, your passion, and then everything else will kind of work itself out.
Yeah. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But what is great about life is that if you stay focused and present on being real true and honoring your best self, no pun intended, if you stay true to that, you know I think there always are opportunities because your gifts might change. What is you look at what was important to me when I was 9 or 19 or
True.
29 or 39.
What was important
you
to the
know
world, that
right,
paradigm
right,
even changes.
right, right, exactly. So I think it's been very beneficial for me to kind of keep taking inventory of not just my wants and passions, but my skills. You have to really uh, grow yourself. That's been a real blessing, and to me, it's a way of me being that much more engaged in kind of everything that I do uh, as a professional. And this, well, I'm doing all this talking, but um, uh, one of the reasons why I sold my practice and went to get my MBA, I was burned out, man. I didn't know, I didn't, I didn't see a way beyond doing kind of the same, mundane things that I was doing. And that was my way of getting out, going back to school. Just fortunate enough to learn something. So.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Sometimes you got to get away from it to know, all right, this is what it is, and this is why I love it, and this is what I'm doing. And you probably, let me ask you a question. Did your experience in California and LA, did that affect your process? When you said I'm a relaunch, like your approach, did it affect how you approach or how you looked at?
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, let me first backtrack and say, I decided that I was going to have to close my office. I spent one day in it had to be 2000, probably year 2000. I spent the entire day. I called the office. I got up, called the office, told them I was running late, and then later called back and told them to cancel all my patients. And I played solitaire for like 10 hours, solitaire on the computer for like 10 hours. I was like, man, let me see what this next hand is. So if anyone's out there and I canceled your appointment
you were playing solitaire.
That's what was up. I was playing solitaire. I had a marathon game of solitaire, man. And I wasn't aware of how to be a professional entrepreneur. When you're in a corporate setting, you have a boss, and you figure, well, hell, maybe I could do his job. So there's always that motivation. There's always that step above that you can look at as far as a goal or what have you. But private practice, I was like, man, I'm doing okay. I'm making money, and I'm just not, and had some women, had a nice little car and all this stuff. And, it just wasn't really moving me the way that I felt I want to be motivated. So to answer your question, I go to LA, I go to school, have this experience out there. One of the things that kind of got me going, I was a runner, don't run as much now, but I was a runner. So because I got kids and obligations and stuff, but back then it's just me. I'd get out in the morning, I'd run and what have you. And
probably out trying to pick up chicks.
Well, yeah. Gotta stay fit.
You're running, I'm running. We've got something in common. We run.
I was running and ran past this alley, and I looked down the alley, and there's a parking lot literally full of Rolls Royces and Maybachs and Bentleys. And the next day I drove by something to see what the place was, and it was the Beverly Hills Rolls Royce dealership. And it just struck me. I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that I used to see on TV, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's right here. This stuff is not real. Life is actually big and fly, and there are things, there's a different level of living. There's a different lifestyle that you can attain and this kind of thing. And so I worked a little bit after I got my MBA. I met Priscilla and got married and had a son. And now I'm trying to provide for my family. And I'm stuck in this corporate world where people, look at me like I'm, some dummy or whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm me,
Right.
And was working like a dog, was not getting the recognition that I felt I deserved, it was hilarious. I had one. You know, have you seen this commercial where there's this woman and she's in the company meeting, and the boss who's running the meeting says, and we just want to recognize the outstanding work that this person has done, and so on and so forth. And so she just assumes it's her, and she moves, and they named this other guy, and it's Bob in accounting.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And then she goes and starts her own business. And so I had one of those moments, man. I'd been going into the office, you know, weekends and staying late, getting early, doing all this stuff. And they had this white guy who I think he was 6 years old. And he came in, and he'd been there for maybe 3 months. And we were on a conference call, and they said, we want to recognize the outstanding work that this, so on and so forth. And
oh, like, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I've seen that, bro.
Oh, did we freeze Dr. Law?
Yeah, maybe it's his connection, but well, Dr. Law, you're frozen, so he probably knows. He's Zoom savvy, so yeah. I mean, that's
crazy, man.
I mean, what he's talking about, you know, life. You know, you're doing, you know, what you're doing, and you're making money. You know, but you got to find a way to move differently.
Yeah, because so many times we hear that in the corporate arena,
Jim White guy comes in there
right off the street.
Yeah, and they recognize, yeah,
and say, "Oh,
bro, it used to happen to me." Yeah, and it's like really, yeah. And you hear what he's saying? I've heard your ship say it, Drew. Even when you get the MBA and you're black, they're still going to slave you and have you doing all the TP.
Yes.
If what?
You go for it.